Everybody, it's Lace, and I wanted to do a video on buy orders specifically. I've talked about these in other videos where I talked about different vendors and selling things and stuff, but I want to focus on buy orders because I'm going to be putting up a bunch in the upcoming weeks as funds allow me to do this and buy stuff, and that's to help fund the Price is Right event that we're going to be hosting in probably a month and a half. It just depends on how funds come together, donations perhaps come together, and my pocketbook comes together, and crafting all this stuff. And yes, The Price is Right is basically just like the game show. Folks will bid on things, they will win all those prize showcases. There'll be six semi-finalists that boil down to two finalists, and you don't have to be a crafter to win. It will be questions from random number trivia stuff to like how many whacks did it take to construct quote unquote this set or prize package. There'll be armor and weapons. That's what, we enchant it and stuff like that and masterwork it and things like that. And you can read about that in the forums. It's on, I think, R53 events right now. But anyway, in order to help me get this going, I'm going to need to buy a lot of materials. To buy a lot of materials, I can spend hours wandering around either the markets or NPC towns or anything like that, and it's just hours out of my time that I'm either not earning money to buy more things or I'm not crafting things to give away, for this event. So buy orders are a great way for you as an adventurer to get a quick sale and not have to list and wait for somebody to find your vendor, and for me as a buyer to perhaps pay a little bit lower price than you'd get if you listed and waited and stuff, and get the items that I want. Now I have to tie up my money when I'm putting out a buy order. That money's taken out of my quote unquote account and not available to me. But when you fulfill that order, you instantly get paid. So let's go over buy orders a little bit in depth. So I'm here right now in Novia Market, and I'm sorry other marketplaces if I didn't list you. I sell in a couple like Brit Mart and Novia Market, and I actually had somebody approach me the other day and asked if I would like to open a shop there. And so probably over time I will have other places because I like to craft. It's my thing. But in order to craft, there's no way in the world I have enough time in the day to go and harvest everything myself. So what I do is I'll put up a buy order. And I'm going to pay a little bit less than market price typically than if I just went around and shop vendors. But it's because typically I'm looking for a pretty large quantity of stuff. This may not be the way for everybody to do, and I will shop around also when I'm really desperately looking for things, or I know a particular vendor tends to stock stuff. That's something you kind of got to figure out on your own. One of the things that they've implemented in R52 and I think are modifying a bit in R53 is vendors will sit down if they haven't been updated in, I think it was a week, and I think they're expanding it to 2 weeks or something like that. So that kind of gives you an idea that I've already been by here, and there's nothing new for me to look at, and you don't have to waste the time shopping the vendor by double clicking on them. Before, the way that the community did this was by putting a date. It'd be like the title of the things that they're selling and then a date when it was last restocked. Folks are still doing that, and that's useful too as well. But probably if you have a vendor yourself and you're trying to sell things, put what they're selling. So if I look just very clearly at here, I see this one has wands and bows. I see this one has furniture and deco. I see this one has potions, scrolls, and dyes. Be as descriptive in your vendor naming as you can. This is not only going to help you get sales. It's just going to make it more convenient for the shoppers. There's some vendors that just have like the name of their guild or something and no date of when it was last updated, and I tend to skip them. I'm going to freely admit that because I'm like, I looked at them once. They don't take the effort or time to say when it was last updated. I probably didn't find anything the last time because they're not pinged in my memory as a good vendor. and that's going to happen. And right now, we've got a great population explosion going on, and there's more and more vendors and stuff going up, and so just if you get a bad experience, there's chances are you're going to remember that far more frequently than if you had a good experience with a vendor. You're going to say, oh, that guy always has crap, or oh, that guy's always overpriced. So first impressions are very important if you're trying to sell stuff. So keep that in mind with your vendor. I know this is supposed to be about buy orders, but again, it's really about the vendor experience and the shopping experience. For me, I've only really just started to really do buy orders because I just usually shopped or I harvested it myself or I tried to buy local in my POT to support my POT because, well, as a governor, you want to support your POT. And I might pay a little overpriced on some things because it was convenient in my POT. And that's still going to hold true. But these are just other ways to maybe save a buck here and there, perhaps, and then also find ways to fulfill if you have a huge quantity that you need fulfilled. I've also spoken about in other videos that if you go to the forums, there's a thing called Player Marketplace. It's a subsection of the forums, and if you want to buy in bulk and have a price in mind, posting posting there is a great idea. Or if you have a bunch, man, I got the hiccups, a bunch that you want to sell, that also works as well, and you don't have to waste the time running around shopping. A lot of players have said, oh, there's no global marketplace. Well, we all know what happens in a global marketplace is player A lists it for 2000, player B lists it for 1999, player C lists it for 1998, and this madness goes on and stuff. It's kind of nice for the seller, but it's not so good for the shopper because they're having to run from point A to point B because of a penny or two that they try to sell or save or gold or whatever. So I can see pros and cons. But anyway, we have what they wanted to implement in this game, and that's what they call a localized market. The things that have occurred by player development is players that own POTs have set up shopping malls. And again, like I said, Novia Market, New Britannia Market, Brit Mart, and then even just players that live in their own POT will shop typically right around their neighborhood. It works. It actually, I think what they wanted to implement actually happened. That folks will shop locally for the convenience, but when they really want to go on a buying spree, it looks like now most folks are going to the large marketplaces. For new players who may not have a piece of land and the ability to have their own vendor, they're going to use the public vendors. But with the public vendors, you can do buy orders just like you can in one of these places that have the POT, person-owned buy orders and stuff. So what I'm going to show you on this particular place that has a quote-unquote vendor just for buy orders, other players will have them as well, and typically they will name their character. I think there's somebody over here. I want to say it's Titiana or Tishiana. I don't want Titiana sounds. I'm sorry, it sounds like Titty. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So she has a commodities, but then she also has a Kodos and rares, and she has buy and sell on both. So anyway, I don't want to just focus on one player too much on one market, but I am going to use it because I'm going to actually list something for a buy order here. But I wanted to show that as an individual, you can have a buy order vendor, and you can sell stuff. You can sell 200 things. You can have 200 buy orders on your vendor. The problem is again trying to find the vendor that has the buy orders for you as a player wanting to sell resources and stuff. Again, you can use the public vendors for this, or you can go to one of these malls that's going to probably have higher traffic and do that. Sell your stuff there. Okay, so let's get down to a buy order. Now you have to have permissions on the vendor to be able to manage orders. If this tab is not visible, well then obviously you don't have permission. And the only way to do that is, well, you have permission within the POT that has a common vendor for this. And right now, Diamond Fields, we have a common selling vendor, which would also give them an orders manage orders right, and I need to advertise that more and even just get more buy orders going on in my particular POT. And you governors and stuff, you should do the same. We have the Diamond Fields Co-op vendor. I need to try to get more folks to do buy orders so that more folks can sell resources there. But for right now, I'm going to use the one here in Novia Market. So if I look at manage orders, you can see I have some buy orders up. Right now I have 1,000 pine wood up for, I'm paying 25,000 for that. That's about 2,500 per 100. That's what that equates to. Metal scrap I have up for 1,000 for 2,500. Maple wood, that's the same price as this. It's just a smaller order. And the reason you'd want to do a smaller buy order is for the newer players. They might not have 1,000 wood. They might only have 500 or 100. But it allows you to allow them to participate and make money too. So that's why sometimes some of my orders are smaller. Now, again, depending on who owns the vendor that's allowing you to manage the buy and sell stuff on, you'll have to work that out with them. I said I was only going to use 5. I used a couple more than 5, but some have been fulfilled and stuff. So anyway, that's what's going on. Right now I have silver up for 20,000, which is 4,000 per 100. That's a very fair market price based on what's going on right now today, because prices change. So you may put up a buy order for a price today and find in a week, because of a game change or you'll see the community shift, that the prices will change. Right now people are hunting reapers out the booty, which means there's lots of wood scrap, wood pulp, and things like that. So you can buy that cheaper because everybody's trying to sell it. And other times we might find that a scene like silver or copper or something, it is in low demand because there's so many sellers. So you kind of got to watch the market and see what's going on. If I wandered around this marketplace here, I'm going to find wood from, pine wood or maple. And it used to be that everybody wanted pine, but see, people are starting to use the rock maple, which takes more maple wood and stuff. Things change, so you kind of got to be aware of what's going on. Anyway, if I was to wander around here and look at the prices of wood, right now I'm seeing it anywhere from 3,500, 4,000 to 2,000, 2,500. I'm offering 2,500. It's a fair market price for it. You don't have to wait for it to be sold. If you've got it, boom, you're going to get paid. If you have a vendor and you want to sit there and play the waiting game where maybe it might increase, the value might increase, and you can up the price that you're going to charge, you can do that. Or, again, markets, you guys know this, from the stock markets or things. There's demand and then there's demand and supply and stuff. So right now I know that wood is highly in supply, and the people that are buying it are probably fewer. Now, me personally, I need a lot of wood because I know the Price is Right is coming up. But I'm not going to pay 3,000 for it. That was kind of the typical normal price, but I know everybody and their brothers got wood, and I'm running around shopping for it, so I'm not going to pay more than 2,500 for it. So that's just me. So you'll get to learn and know these things. You're also going to find that things like beetle carapace and suet, those will fetch anywhere. I don't know what suet's going for, but I think beetle carapace is going for, people will offer 600, but I think that you'll find other places that offer more, 700, 800 for it. So you low-level people, harvest them cotton bushes, because beetle carapace is probably the most scarce resource there is in the world right now. It's just suet. You can skin animals all day, so suet's not too bad. But beetle carapace only comes from folks going around the world and actually harvesting a cotton bush in the wild and happening to get a beetle carapace. That's why its price is so high. I've posted on this. I think it's ridiculous that there's one resource that is so out of skew, but no love yet from the devs. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Right now, beetle carapace is paying pretty good. So if you look for buy orders on beetle carapace, you can probably make bank pretty easy. Just go harvest those cotton bushes in the wild. So here we go. Like I said, still trying to get back to the original track of manage orders. This is if I have access to a vendor and I want to put up an order to buy. So I got some pine wood, maple wood 500, pine wood 500. Looks like I don't have a maple 1000. So we'll do a maple. And I'm going to search for it under manage orders. I'm going to type in what I want to sell. And I'm just going to drag it to the right. And I'm going to say I want to do a maple 1000. And again, to me, maple and pine are equal. There's benefits to each if you're combining them to make the rare woods, but really I just need wood, period, because I'm doing a lot of carpentry and I don't really care what kind it is. I don't prize one over the other. So I'm paying 2,500 per 100. So I want 1,000 at 25,000. So again, it's the quantity and the total amount that I want to pay. And I'll hit that. And you're going to see my money is going to go down to this because I have to put that money up front. Now, one of the things that they're changing in, I think it's R53, was if you listed stuff on the public vendor, you always had to pay the cost of listing it up front, and then it expired in 7 days. So if it didn't sell, you lost that deposit. On private vendors or the non-commission free ones, you always had to put 10% up for the, if I was listing something for 9,000, I had to pay 900 gold up front and then wait for the sale. Now what they're doing is they're saying I can list it for 9,000, but what's going to happen is I'm only going to get the 8,300 back on the actual sale. As for the upfront price on commission free, I'm not certain that I've read that that's going to happen. I just know on non-commission vendors, which you can purchase, I believe it's for 10,000 gold. If you have a piece of land, you can get a non-commission vendor. You too can have a vendor. Very, it's not bad. And with them letting the sale or letting the price not have to be paid up front, you can relist things. Before, let's say I put something up for 9,000, they're going to take 900 out of my bank just for me to list it on my own personal vendor. And then it doesn't sell. And I realize, wow, I overpriced that. I should list it for 5,000. Well, guess what? Now I got to pay 500. So I paid 1,400 in fees just to sell something for 5,000. That's really taking a chunk out of my market. So again, this is what's coming is on non-commission free vendors, which are ones you can get from Homes Deco Merchants, I believe it is. I think they're 10K, maybe it's 20K, but anyway, it's going to be way better. You don't have to pay that cost up front. If the item doesn't sell, you didn't have to pay that money, and then if you choose to relist it for a lower price or a higher price, you don't have to repay to list it again, to relist it. So again, I know this was supposed to be about buy orders, but it's really, I guess it's turned into all about vendors again. So that was how a buy order goes. Now, what happens is when you fulfill the buy order, of course, you're going to get a little thingy and you'll get your money, and you'll go to the bank and you'll or a mailbox, either a bank in an NPC town or your own personal mailbox, and you can collect your money. As the person who listed the item for sale, wherever you listed it, you're going to need to go to the bank in that NPC town or POT town to collect the actual merchandise. And I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to run over here because I actually have had some buy orders fulfilled, and I'm going to go to the banker in this POT. Give me 1 second to get that going. Okay, now because I know that I had a wood order fulfilled because I happened to have gotten a mail that told me it was fulfilled, I can type in wood. Now you're going to see I have a lot of bank slots, but that's because I own POTs and things like that, and high-level banker. Do not pay for bank upgrades. These are the most wasted amount of space. You can get the first few, it's like 100 gold, then 200, then 400. I don't know how it exponentially happens, but it's going to get way out of control. There are so many player-owned towns that will offer you a free room rental where you can put a couple boxes in. You put a couple trunks in there, and you can put 300 items in each trunk. That's 600 items. and for free. Do not pay for bank upgrades. No, 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 no. Never. They're horribly expensive and stupid. So don't ever do that. Anyway, I'm looking for wood, and it's going to show me where the wood is. Again, I can sort by location. So we're here in Novia Market because that's where I put my buy orders up, and I could grab this and drag it to my inventory. Watch your weight if you're buying large amounts of stuff and can't carry things. You might have to make a couple trips depending on your carry capacity and things like that. Again, for carry capacity, I'm gonna hit escape here. Hold on one second. Get out of this. Oops. I'm gonna hit K. I believe it's in tactics. The first thing you get is healthy, which get your hit points. Get that to 40. Start doing train strength. Once you get that to 40, the big one here, heavy lifter, baby. You want this. You're going to want heavy lifter if you're going to do any kind of buying and selling. It's going to help you do more weapons or whatever you find out in the field before you have to return home. It's going to help you on hauling resources and things like that. Great skills to have. So it's all raining and stuff here now. But again, while this was all about buy orders, there's so many things interconnected, and the information that goes with it. I wanted to kind of touch base on everything that came to mind about all these systems. Well, somebody can do a video about use this weapon combat and use this and you hit the thing this way. Think about all the interconnectivity that's built within the game. And so I just kind of wanted to focus on all that. While we're talking about buy orders, there's also understanding selling, understanding buying, picking up your things, and hauling things, which is the strength stuff. So I hope this has been somewhat helpful and things. And while I happen to have done this in Novia Market, there's plenty of markets. Your own POT is going to have stuff like this. Your own guild's going to have things like this. Don't think that this is the one be-all, end-all place. This is just one that I'm happening to use right now, and I will use other ones as I get access to them. I have access here. I don't have access in other ones unless I do it on my own merchant. Doing buy orders on your own merchant is hit or miss because it depends on the traffic your particular merchant gets. If you can get in with a group of folks that are all doing buy orders in one place, it gives a convenient location for the folks wanting to sell resources. Make sure to advertise that using Player Marketplace or however you want to do that. And then it also gives a convenient place for folks to list buy orders where they get more traffic. And that's why I was kind of promoting this one, which again, I'm kind of late in coming into this. I was shopping a lot and spending hours shopping. This has been fairly productive. Also, again, the forums. If you want to do things, you can use the Player Marketplace on the forums. There's one to sell, one to buy. You can say your prices. People do look at this. I believe there's a trade channel in Discord. That's another option. But I'm trying to show the in-game options, the ones that were built into the game for you to use. While there's other ones, this is, the one that's inside the game. So if you want to say, oh, it breaks my immersion. Okay, well, this won't break your immersion. You can do it this way. Take care, everybody. Happy hunting and be safe.